Recently, I created a camera bracket to work out what was going on under the kayak. After viewing some of this really cool footage, I decided to adapt the bracket to allow me to see how fish react to baits and lures. This is Mark II and Mark III of this camera bracket, and I apologise for the shakiness, but I'm still working out how to get this bracket to stop shaking. First drop, and we're sitting over a big school of butterfly perch. Often above these reefs there'll be these butterfly perch in leather jackets, and here is a red banded perch, something we don't see often, and he grabs the bait straight away. In the next clip I spotted something really high on the sounder, and in comes a blue cod, something you don't see this high off the bottom normally, and he just crushes the bait immediately. He's already got it in his mouth. We got to keep an eye on it because he looks at the second bait and he inhales that one too. So he's got both baits in his mouth. Now if you look out to the right, you've got another blue cod coming in and he wants to steal the bait from the other one. And by the time we go through all the shakiness and we get back to it, we've got one blue cod on the line with two in his mouth and the other blue cod trying to eat the sinker underneath him. Very interesting behaviour. Topside, I actually didn't know that this fish was on, so I begin reeling him in and I finally feel him, and the other blue cod is still looking behind and he follows him up a fair way. He's just passing away now, losing interest. But this blue cod is on his way up now, with one bait in his mouth, and obviously that other hook didn't stick while it was in his mouth. Just pulling him up to the surface now and pulling him out of the water. The next clip, I've got a bunch of leather jackets smashing into the bait, and this one is following it really fast. I've just started burning it up to the surface, and he doesn't want to miss out on dinner, and he is pumping hard out, trying to catch up to the bait. It's pretty interesting. He's only using his dorsal and anal fin there, trying to keep up with the bait, but he just can't quite do it. Okay, we're back down on the bottom now, and we've already got a few fish looking at the baits. We've got a few scarlet wrasse, a blue cod having a bite there. We've got one bigger blue cod off to the side, and he's coming right in. He's going to inhale the bait clean. He just grabs onto it. It's already gone down his throat. There's a scarlet wrasse trying to eat the bottom bait, and he moves off, and the circle hook grabs him. Now, the next clip here, we've got a bit of sand. Oh, we've already got a blue cod on the right. He's looking at the bait pretty carefully, all things considered. Now I do bring it up a little bit higher because I'm trying to get the camera set up correctly so that the bait's sitting on the bottom. It's pretty hard with the camera weight above. Now this blue cod, he comes in, he grabs the flasher, he lets it go. He's just kind of testing that, and in comes a big terraki. Now this is a pretty interesting clip because he just circles around and comes in for another look, doesn't commit. Blue cod's there on the bottom, looking. Finally the terraki commits. He turns, comes back in hot, grabs that bait again off the bottom, drops it, comes back again, gets another bite on it, right in his mouth, spits it out, and doesn't want it. The hooks are a little bit big because I thought I was in a gurnard area. He's got it in his mouth again. The camera quite not picking it up, but it's in his mouth still, and we're not going to see if he actually gets it right in his mouth properly, but he's looking at the camera now. Not at the baits. The blue cod's coming back in for another look. And we just sort of have the bait down there. And I had no idea these fish were there. I was looking on the sound of the terraki's come back in again. He's going to have another go at it. He grabs it by the hook eye, not by the bait end. So he's got it back in his mouth. He's got it back in there again, and he's dropped it again. It's just so frustrating to watch. I didn't even know there were these big fish down there. I was looking at my sound screen. He's come in hot again and missed it. Let's look at that again. Coming right in for the bait, and the swell just lifts the bait right out of the way, and he's quite confused. He stops dead. He's wondering where it's gone. Now he turns around and comes up and has another go at it, and he's got it right in his mouth this time, just out of screen, but he doesn't hook up. Blue cod gets it in his mouth finally after a little bit of playing around with it, spits it out again, but comes back around for another look. Terraki has a go at the sinker. Really interesting behaviour. Blue cod having a real good look at it again. Looking. Not that interested. Next shot, he comes around, turns, goes for it properly this time, gets the fish bite in his mouth, ragdolls it properly like a dog with a chew toy. And he's just got it in his mouth. Terraki looking at the top hook. Blue cod trying to swallow the whole thing down. He's a bit small though. Ragdolling it again, lets it go. Terraki looking again. bumps the little sinker again at the bottom, spits it out. It's just real interesting to watch, isn't it? Now that's something I didn't see the first time. A spiny dogfish going past, and he doesn't seem too interested in the baits. Moving on through the clip, we've got a terraki going past, and into the shot we've got an octopus, and he's not too interested, but he's gone right past it. That is such a surprise. The octopus comes in, probably has a little look at the bait, he's probably smelt it. He's going past. Looks like he's a few legs short possibly on that other side, a few shorter legs. And he just rolls on through. That is so cool to see. Now I'm just going to leave you with this ending clip. Terraki's still looking. Same fish. He's been there for about 10 minutes trying to get that bait in. I'm just going to leave you with this little footage. There's some spotties and a smaller blue cod. And finally we've got a bigger blue cod. And he comes straight in and he's got it clean in his mouth. Hammering it. And he's already got the circle hook in his mouth. And I'm not sure at this point that he's actually hooked. But he's got it well in there and he can't get it out of his mouth. It's at this point I finally felt him and I begin to wind him up to the surface. Look at how fast the blue cod's colour changes as I bring him up higher in the water column. So this was a look at a couple of trips out with a couple of different setups on the camera bracket and film my first proper eat right there with this blue cod.